Hello and welcome to the Wireless LAN News Desk on October the 5th, 2018. My name is Tom Carpenter. I'm the CTO here at CWNP, and I'm glad to have you with me today. We are currently 9 days away from the beginning of pre-conference training at Wi-Fi Trek. So I'll be flying out to San Diego a week from today in order to prepare for the training and for the conference itself. We're excited about this event. We have more people registered this year than ever before, and we're looking forward to seeing you there. If you haven't registered yet, make sure you go to conferences.cwnp.com in order to get registered today. Now, in the news this week, the big news was the Wi-Fi Alliance introduction of Wi-Fi 6. So Wi-Fi 6 is based on something they're calling generational Wi-Fi, and we'll get more into that in a moment. But with 802.11ax devices, instead of them being Wi-Fi certified AX, they're going to be Wi-Fi 6 certified going forward. And then the next generation would be Wi-Fi 7 and so on. Now, the Wi-Fi Alliance has introduced this model in order to try to simplify things. And it's true that it is a bit confusing over the years. You know, we've had 802.11b, 802.11gb, 802.11abg, 802.11a, 802.11bgn, 802.11bgna, 802.11ac, 802.11n, 802.11ax, and on it goes. And consumers may have gotten a bit confused by it. They do have a simpler model in the cellular world. You know, you have 3G, 4G, 5G. It makes things a bit simpler for them to understand. So I definitely get the motive behind doing this. I fully understand it. It does not help Wi-Fi engineers. Engineers should have the proper training from CWNP and other sources so that they understand what 802.11g is versus N versus AC versus AX and so forth. So this isn't going to help engineers in any way at all, but it will help consumers potentially if they can grasp the concept. Now, the interesting thing is they've chosen not to go before Wi-Fi 4, which they're calling 802.11n. And we can see this in the generational Wi-Fi user guide, which is available at the Wi-Fi Alliance. The user guide, I've highlighted a few sections that note some things I want to bring to your attention. First of all, it is a marketing program. So they're not defining a technical specification or anything like that. It's a way to market the different versions of Wi-Fi. And their goal is for it to be consumer friendly, as I said, like 3G, 4G, 5G, etc. Now, the three that they have defined currently are Wi-Fi 4, 5, and 6. Wi-Fi 4 is 802.11n, Wi-Fi 5 is 802.11ac, and Wi-Fi 6 is 802.11ax. Now, they do have a statement here that says generations of Wi-Fi prior to Wi-Fi 4 will not be assigned names. But I think we have to pause and ask, okay, why did we start at 4? So maybe they think that AG is 3, B is 2, and 802.11 prime, the good old DSSS and FHSS, is 1. Or maybe they ignore that and 11B is 1, 11G is 2, and 11A is 3. But since G came after A, maybe B is 1, and A is 2, and G is 3. Well, the good news is we really don't have to worry about it because they don't name it, but they have chosen that 802.11n is Wi-Fi 4, and that's the starting point. And then 802.11ac is Wi-Fi 5, and 802.11ax is Wi-Fi 6. Now, here's where the confusion is going to come in, I think. Notice it says Wi-Fi generation names shall both refer to the most advanced technology available in devices and to the actual Wi-Fi connection devices established within a Wi-Fi network. So for example, you may have a laptop certified sometime in the future as Wi-Fi 6, but you may log on using Windows on that laptop and get an indicator from the Windows operating system that says it's Wi-Fi 4. And that might confuse you. You might think, wait a minute, I just bought a Wi-Fi 6 laptop and now my OS is telling me it's only Wi-Fi 4? Well, the OS is telling you about the connection. It's an 802.11n connection, even though your device is capable of 802.11ax or Wi-Fi 6, right? So you'll notice it says if a device vendor adopts Wi-Fi generation names, then they identify the Wi-Fi technology contained in the device by the correct generation name. So if it has 802.11ax technology, it will be called Wi-Fi 6. That means that it can also do Wi-Fi 5 at a minimum, 802.11ac, we hope, and Wi-Fi 4, 802.11n. However, if it's a 2.4 gigahertz only 802.11ax device, Will they come? We'll see. Then it would be Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 4 capable, but not Wi-Fi 5 capable. So this is where I think some confusion is going to begin to come in with this. Yes, it's going to help consumers, I do believe, but there's also going to have to be some real consumer education on what these actually mean and what they represent. It's not as simple as saying 4, then 5, then 6. You might have 4, 6, you might have 5, 6, you might have 4, 5, 6, all capable in a device. And so that's obviously something that is going to be an interesting conundrum to see. Now, when OS vendors adopt the generation names, notice they identify the generation of the Wi-Fi connection. They're not identifying the capabilities of the hardware. Now, this could get interesting because your connection would say Wi-Fi 6 1 minute, and then maybe Wi-Fi 5 another minute when you move to another location or some kind of interference occurs or whatever. And so we're going to see changes in that. Now, we are used to that on our cell phones, right? We're used to seeing LTE and then, no, wait, it's not LTE anymore. So we're used to our cell phone showing us different kinds of connections. I think users will adapt to that readily, easily. Service providers, if they adopt the generation names, they're identifying the maximum capability of the network. So if it can do AX, it's Wi-Fi 6. If the max it can do is AC, it's Wi-Fi 5. If the max it can do is 11N, of course, it's Wi-Fi 4 and so forth. So they have different ways to use this. They also do provide their standard icons for representing 4, 5, and 6 if you choose to use it. And they simply indicate that if you're going to use your own, then you'll use the numbers 4, 5, or 6 with whatever your Wi-Fi indicator is that you choose to utilize. And you'll notice they give all kinds of samples of what these might look like if you choose to do it. Notice beginning with the Wi-Fi 6 generation, Wi-Fi Alliance certification programs for major PHY releases in the 2.4 and 5 gigahertz bands will use a Wi-Fi generation name. So this isn't applying to 802.11ad. This isn't applying to Halo or TV white space or anything like that. It's applying to typical Wi-Fi, what we think of as typical Wi-Fi in 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. They also have an example here of the Wi-Fi Alliance certification logo with the number 6 now instead of the BGN, AC, etc. Now, if we back up in this document, there was a statement here that says generation names do not affect previous certification program names. So if it's already certified as Wi-Fi certified AC, it's going to stay that. It is not going to be updated to reflect Wi-Fi 5 as that certification. So those old certifications are going to stay the way they are. Moving forward with 11AX, it's going to be Wi-Fi 6, then 7, then 8, whatever down the road as we get new PHYs in 2.4 and 5 gigahertz. So let's kind of think about this and the impact it's going to have on the community. On the engineering community, it'll have little to no impact. When it comes to exam day, if this catches on, you may find yourself in the next version of CWNA, for example, having to remember that Wi-Fi 6 equals AX, Wi-Fi 5 equals AC, and Wi-Fi 4 equals N, and so forth. You may need to remember how it's used by a device vendor versus an OS vendor versus a service provider. So just the basics of how the program works, right? This is probably something you'll more likely see in a new version of CWS and CWT down the road, but it could be in CWNA as well. So the point is that, yes, there's a little bit to know there. Does it add value to engineers? Not really. We should be way beyond this simplicity in our understanding of wireless networks. So it really doesn't do anything for us other than give us a tool to explain to consumers. Time will tell if this is easier for us. A big part of me thinks it will be easier because users already understand LTE on their phones, and we can use an analogy and compare it to that. We can say, you know how your phone sometimes shows you you've got this and then you've got that. Well, that's what this is showing you in your OS. If you've got Wi-Fi 6, you've got the best our network can do, Wi-Fi 5, the second best, Wi-Fi 4, the third best, and so forth. But then the problem becomes that users know, wait, I've only got a Wi-Fi 4 connection, because before all they had was bars, right? Now they're saying, hey, I want a Wi-Fi 6 connection. Why can't I have that? It tells me that we have this Wi-Fi 6 in our environment, but I'm not getting Wi-Fi 6 on my computer and I want Wi-Fi 6 everywhere. So this could be a new, interesting conundrum for us to face. We may see specifications from companies when we go in to do a design that says, hey, we want Wi-Fi 5 or higher everywhere. That's what we want. We want Wi-Fi 5 or higher everywhere. Well, we're the engineers. We should be able to translate that and understand that they're saying they want 802.11ac and AX, and they want those particular physical layers being utilized everywhere. So we get that. And this is some of the conundrums that might come up in just communication. So time will tell whether this is even adopted fully. I lean toward thinking it will be. And I think it is simpler, and I think it could be a great simpler thing for consumers in the future. I think it will be a hairy transition as we move toward that, though. So we'll see how the transition goes. We'll see how well this is adopted. And I just wanted to make you aware of what it is, where you can get more information about it, of course, at the Wi-Fi Alliance website, and how it might play a role in the future of wireless networking discussions and engineering. Thank you for your time. I hope you've enjoyed this Wireless LAN News Desk. If you haven't already, make sure you click below to subscribe on YouTube, and you can see us at Wi-Fi Trek 1 week away, roughly 9 days. So we're looking forward to it. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Thank you for being with me.